All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Guna Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it's to talk about Arsenal versus Sporting Lisbon. It's the Europa League, and yeah, for us, this is a game about cementing, first of all, our position in the league table. We're first, of course, but Sporting Lisbon are second. So it's about kind of just saying to them, all right, motherfuckers, we got this. We got this. This table is ours. We were easily the favourites for this table. And Sporting Lisbon, I wasn't even that impressed with them at Sporting, really. I didn't really think they did anything particularly special. And that was said to be the hardest game in our league. So for me, I think it's just standard procedure stuff. Get the 3 points and keep it moving. I know a lot of people will see the title of this video, 15 Unbeaten, and roll their eyes at the fact that we're counting the amount of games that we're unbeaten. For me, what it signifies, is that even a word? What it symbolizes. Let's not try and be too flash about it, will it? What it symbolizes to me is more about the confidence factor, the momentum factor. You know, we need to try and keep building games, keep building momentum, because we're coming up to a tricky period in our season. You know, I've talked in the past about nervous November. There's also disastrous December. And we are edging towards that period of time where we play Spurs, we play United, and you might want to snigger at United. Lately, they've started to at least temporarily fix some of their issues, and that could be a really key game for us. So games like this is always a good momentum builder, especially because, yes, all right, I understand that after Wolves, we go into a long, arduous international break, but I think it's always good and always important for us to just keep that momentum going. I thought it was important in the previous international break. Remember, it was only a month ago. So I think it'll be just as important this time. So it is the last international break of the year. I also hate that these international breaks, but if we can go into it, beating Sporting, beating Wolves, happy days, as far as I'm concerned. And we're coming off a Liverpool game where, let's be honest, we performed very well, competed, swung, punch for punch with them, you know? And it was impressive. And I know a lot of people, a lot of cynical fans, a lot of fans who are outside of the Arsenal bubble won't understand why we as Arsenal fans were happy at the weekend. I actually think some knowledgeable, and it's not every day I compliment Liverpool fans, so let me take a second. I actually think some knowledgeable Liverpool fans have actually got it over the past couple of days as to why we're happy. Purely on the basis that they were predicted to smoke us at the Emirates. I didn't think we'd get smoked. I didn't think we'd win either, and I wasn't certainly predicting that performance. I'll hold my hands up. That performance was very, very good. To the point where when we drew, I was almost disappointed. I was almost like, shit, we had 10 more minutes, we would have got them. And I honestly believe that. 10 more minutes, we would have had them. But that also gives me hope, because it makes me think, well, this is the team that's supposed to be pushing City all the way. And then the other team that may push City all the way, you can make a strong argument we should have beat them, and that was Chelsea. So maybe we're not in as terrible shape as people like to make out we are. Nevertheless, we are suffering with some injury problems. And even going into this game, there are some injury concerns, particularly around our left-back area. Whether you're a fan of his or not, and I know a friend of the show, Lee, certainly isn't, there is some good news in the horizon, if you want to look at it like that, because Koscielny is heading back, it looks like. He's been in full training for the past couple of weeks, but I think it's a matter of time before he actually plays, so that would be interesting. For me, it's all about the 1 to 11 for this game. I think this will be an interesting 1 to 11. because you have to assume that we had such a physically draining game against Liverpool that not all of those guys are going to be able to play in this game. Nevertheless, you want to, like I said earlier, you want to get the 3 points and damn near cement our place in the next round of the Europa League. So with that being said, this would be my hopeful 1 to 11 to play against Sporting Lisbon. In goal, I play Petr Cech. I think it's pretty clear now that he's on number 2. And yeah, he has to fight to get back into the team. He's an old man now. Pains me to say it because I'm the exact same age as this guy. But it is what it is. So, yeah, Petr Cech in goal for me. Right back, I play Lichtsteiner. To me, I think he's been a bit hit and miss. He's done okay, but he's 34, you know? Someone who's also turning 34, you're going to feel these aches and pains a little bit more sometimes as you get older and older. So it's always good for me to keep that in mind whenever I describe Lichtsteiner. But to be fair to him, the last time he played for Arsenal, I thought he did quite well. So for me, he plays with this game. In defence, now this will be tricky because we do have defensive issues. I'm going to go with Socrates first of all. I believe he's our best defender. And I know I say that on the back of a great defensive performance against Liverpool from Mustafi and Holding. In my view, I think it's a matter of time before he takes Mustafi's place. Having said all of that, he does need some minutes, he needs some game time, he needs to be able to play. He has been injured, so I play him in this game. I really don't like the idea of butchering this guy's last name. The Spanish kid, the under-23 defender, Julio. I'm not going to do it. Julio, let's call it Julio. The Spanish kid, under-23s. I was very impressed with him. Remember, I went to see him live in the game that he played, the last game that he played, and I thought he played really well. Was really actually composed because I think he played alongside Mustafi on that particular night. And to be honest, he looked more calm than Mustafi on that particular day. Like the look of this kid. And if I'm someone like Manolos, I'm sweating. I'm sweating because this is. I have to be honest. This is an Arsene Wenger buy. This guy, so you got to keep that in mind. But yeah, I thought he did really well. So why not throw him in this game? I think Holding's played a lot of games, a hell of games recently, as has Mustafi. So I would not play either one of those guys, and I'd play this under-23 kid. Let's see what he's got. I'm all for finding good defenders, yo. I am all for that shit. So for me, he plays in this game. Left back, I play Monreal. I got a feeling he'll be back. From my understanding, he was training today. I think this is kind of a slightly more low-risk game than the, say, Wolves game would be on Saturday. So I think he can afford to give Monreal an hour or so. And then if you want to move Maitland-Niles to left back, then do so. But to me, I play Monreal in this game. Now, what do I do with shape? Well, this is I'm going to change the shape a little bit, and I'm going to play a 3. So, who am I going to play at that base of that 3? I'm going to play Ainsley Maitland-Niles. To me, I actually think I want to see him and Torreira competing for the same place. I think they're both very similar in stature. They both have very similar attitudes. Don't get it twisted, people. Yes, I do believe that Torreira is the better player, but who doesn't want 2 of those? I do, and I rate Ainsley Maitland-Niles highly. So for me, I like to see him play in this game. Alongside him, I'm going to go with Guendouzi. I know he was sent off in his last Arsenal game. Thought was playing really well up until that point as well. It's part of a learning curve for him. Remember, people, he may look like a grown man, He's 19 years old. He's going to be forgiven for mistakes. So for me, I play Guendouzi in this game. I actually play Aaron Ramsey next to those two, which, let's face it, he'll probably play in a slightly more advancing role, but I play Aaron Ramsey next to those guys. You know, whether he goes end of the season or goes in January, he's been here for 10 years. And even I need to remind myself this sometimes. We as fans should show him more respect. So I think, for me, I just want to see a good performance from him, because I've not been that impressed with him throughout the season. So as long as he goes out there and give whatever is left, just give it all to Arsenal. And then whatever will be, will be. End of the season, January, whatever. For his remaining time at this club, I just want him to give it his all. Because apart from anything, he has to play for a move. Like, he has to play for a move. It was only last week that I saw people like Chelsea writing themselves out of the race. Liverpool writing themselves out. I was convinced he was going Liverpool. Them writing themselves out of the race. He probably will end up going United, because United wanted him there in the first place before we went and got him. So I'd like to think he would at least raise his energy up to be able to play for a move. And I guess that will be what will happen, what will end up happening here. But for me, I play Aaron Ramsey next to these guys. And then my front three will be Danny Welbeck, will be Alex Iwobi, and will be Aubameyang up top. I think it's good to have experienced three, attacking three. As I always say, but it never seems to happen, because I don't know if Emery really rates him or not, I would play Aubameyang up top with the view of giving Eddie 15, 20 minutes of game time. I play Iwobi because Iwobi didn't start on the weekend. He didn't start midweek last week either, which I found interesting. I don't know if that's Emery just pulling him back a little bit. But when he came on against Liverpool, made a great bit of impact. I think you continue playing Alex while he's in this purple form. Continue playing him. Speaking of which, we're going into the international break, Alex. I need that shit to continue for Nigeria. Continue that form for Nigeria, boy. Let me tell you something. I don't know, you've been possessed by the living spirit of JJ Okocha. Let that continue. He's taking souls right now with some of his nutmegs, and let that continue. I actually think Welbeck has been in good form. I saw a story earlier today that Crystal Palace are looking to make a 10 million move for Welbeck, and he's another one who, you know, will probably end up playing for a move. I can see it being more likely, in my opinion, that Arsenal say to Danny, no, we want you to stay to the end of the season, than saying that to Aaron Ramsey. Because Ramsey at the moment is on the higher wages and he ain't doing nothing. At least with Welbeck, he's actually helping the cause. So for me, with Welbeck, I think it's just a case of I would like to see him play for a move. And I think he is playing quite well for him this season. So I'd like to see that continue. So Welbeck, I have no issue with that. The reason I go with the Aubameyang up top is because I don't think he enjoys playing that much out on the left. I actually think he's been really selfless at the moment in trying to accommodate Lacazette. I would love to see Emery, particularly on Saturday, just say, fuck it, and go with two of them up top against Wolves, against a team we're expected to beat, expected to have a lot of the ball against a team who, yes, I think they do have good players, but a team who don't have that much good confidence at the moment. I say let's crush them and stick both of them up top. But I would like to see Aubameyang start up top. I think him and Welbeck could develop a good understanding and go from there. I think if we do that, this should be light work. So I'm going with 3-0. I think Arsenal win 3-0. You guys let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments below. If you like this video, crush, destroy, drop, hit the shit out of that like button. I appreciate every time you guys do that. One thing I will say now, let me apologize for Sunday when I did the show with Lee and Ola. I should have known something was up because I was getting a lot of comments about what they were saying and not really what I was saying. And then I kind of re-listened to the whole thing, the whole show on Sunday, and my mic was terrible. Oh my goodness. My mic was terrible. So yeah, I'm going to put a fix to that. So yeah, Blue Yeti's on the way. Trust me on that one. Need to fix that. So yeah, apologies for that. It will not happen again. All right, people, I'm out of here. If you like this video, crush, destroy, drop kick the shit out of that like button. I appreciate every time you guys do that. Also, hit that subscribe button if you're new. I'll be back to review this game tomorrow, straight after the game. And then I'm going to do a review. I'm going to have a couple of new people on, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to do a review of the Wolves game on the Sunday, most likely. And then do a preview of the Wolves game on Friday, most likely. So stay tuned for that. All right, people, I'm out of here. Take care.